I was commentating on this bridge brawl match between Pete Holland's and Razan's team when I thought I saw this world champion declarer, Adam Kaplan to be specific. I thought I saw him MISDECLARE. So let's get into it. So on this board, they were declaring a 4 hearts contract. North led the Jack of Diamonds. Adam covered this with the King. Razan won with the Ace, cashed the Queen of Diamonds, and played another diamond out. Now, how would you play this hand? Ready? So what Declare did was to cash the Ace and King of Hearts and then cash another heart, and then, when clubs broke, he made his contract. But while watching this, I was thinking that, I think it's better to you can play for 4 too if the long, so this works, but Queen and another and then Raffle Club is better. I intuitively thought that it was better to, after cashing the Ace and King of Hearts, play the Queen out, cash another club, and then Raff a club. And the idea here is if clubs are 3-3, no one's going to over-Raff, that's fine. If clubs are 4-2, then if the person with the long clubs also has the long hearts, then you won't get over-Raff. And then you can potentially go back into the East hand to draw trumps and cash out your clubs. But the problem with this line, right, is, say, even now, even if clubs break 3-3, or even if clubs break 4-2 and, you didn't get over-Raff, how are you going to draw the trumps? You'll have to play the spade, and in this case, of course, playing the king is better because only the ace can win it. And then you might be exposed to a diamond ruff. So now North can play a diamond through, and here, East can ruff it, but, and thankfully here, like, the contract was still made because South can't over-ruff. But if South had another heart, then South might be able to over-ruff it, and Declare will go down. So, which line is better? So Declare's line works whenever clubs are 3-3. That would be 6 choose 3, which is 20 cases out of, there's 6 clubs outstanding, so that's out of 64. Plus, whenever there's a Jack Doubleton club from either side. So the number of ways there's Jack Doubleton club would be when, Jack can be added with any other card. So there's 5 other cards. So there's 5 ways for it to be Jack Doubleton with South and 5 ways for there to be Jack Doubleton with North. So in total, it works 30 out of 64 of the time. Now, what about my line, which is to play 2 clubs first? Well, if Declare cashes a Queen and Ace of clubs and the Jack falls, then Declare can just draw trumps, right? So when there's Jack Doubleton, Declare always makes. Now, if clubs are 4-2, then you need the person with the long clubs to have the long hearts. So how often are clubs 4-2? There's 6 choose 2 plus 6 choose 4, but I mean they're the same thing. So 6 choose 2 will be 15 cases, and same for 6 choose 4. So there's 30 cases for clubs to be 4-2, of which 10 are Jack Doubleton, right? So there's 20 other cases. For those 20 cases, half the time the person with the long clubs, I guess slightly less, but it's about there. Half the time the person with the long clubs will also have the long hearts. So about 10 of those cases would work. And then there's still the uppercut case, but we'll get to that soon. So there's 10 confirm make, 10 is still dependent on the diamond uppercut. Now, if clubs are 3-3, then you always make unless it's a diamond uppercut. And the number of ways for clubs to be 3-3 would be 20, like I said earlier. So in total, you have 30 cases where you have to care about the diamond uppercut. Now, when is there a diamond uppercut? So for there to be an uppercut, first of all, North has to be the one holding the Ace of Spades. Because if South is the one holding the Ace of Spades and there's a diamond uppercut, like, you can just over-up. So there's no problem there, right? So that's down to 50%. And so if North has the Ace of Spades and North only has 3-card diamond, there's no diamond uppercut. Same thing if North has 4-card diamond. So the only case where you go down is when North has exactly Ace of Spades and 5-card diamond. Not only that, even if North has 5-card diamond and the Ace of Spades, South must also be the one with the 3-card heart. So if you add all that up, then there's 50% for North having Ace and like 50% for South having the long hearts. That's 25%. And then on top of that, you slap in a chance of North having 5-card diamond. And how often does North have 5-card diamond? Basically, North can have 3, 4, or 5-card diamond. The number of ways North can have 3 will be 8 choose 3, which is 56. 5, same thing. And 4, it will be 8 choose 4, which is 70. So in total, there's less than 1/3 of the time where North has 5-card diamond. So like a really conservative estimate, right? It'll be like 1 out of 12 of the time you go down. It's actually less than that. So out of those 30 cases, you go down 1 out of 12, which is about 2.5 cases. So there's 27.5 cases left, and you have 10 cases from the jack double turn. So in total, you make like 37.5 out of 64 of the time. But here's the thing. How many diamonds does North have? So when I was watching this, my first thought was that North could have pitched the 10 of diamonds to force card. In that way, the diamond count is more ambiguous. Like now, because North has played the jack, 8 and 5, Declarer also knows that North has the 10 of diamonds. So North has either 4 or 5 card diamond. And that changes the odds. Because now, okay, let's say North has 4 card diamond half the time. I mean, it's a bit wrong because it's 70 to 56, but for simplicity's sake, let's just say half. So 1/8 of the time, Declarer will go down. And 1/8 out of 30 is 3.75. So Declarer makes about like 36.25 of the cases. And so I went to message Adam Kaplan and I asked him, hey, I'm gonna make a video about this hand. Is it okay if I use your picture for clickbait purposes? And then he was like very nice. He said, yeah, you can use my picture for whatever you want, clickbait, whatnot. And then he started discussing the board with me, except we were discussing different boards. He was discussing something from the next match, which I hope I'll get to at some point, as if there isn't already a lot of Bridge Brawl content out here. And then he told me, oh, actually, the diamond pips look really threatening. And I was like, oh yeah, like I know that North could have hit the 10. Then I asked him, so what else do you see in, like, what do you see in the diamond pips? Because like I remember from my game at the Soul Club Invitational, like there's things that these world-class players see that you just don't see, right? So I thought, yeah, it'll be nice to like hear what he had to say. And he said, yeah, but South played the smallest diamond pit, which means that South has like 3 or 5 card diamonds. And if you couple that with the fact that North didn't play the 10, then actually now you know that South has 3 card diamonds. So if you know that the diamonds are 5-3 with North having 5 and South having 3, then actually the chance of this line not working out is just if North has the ace and if South has the third heart, which is like 25%. So if you take 25% of that 30 cases, then that would be 7.5. So the line still works 32.5% of the time. That said, this, like my cases were just like estimates, because actually, I mean like 3-3 break is more common than 4-2 break, right? So there's things like that to consider as well. So in the end, the lines are almost very equal. But yeah, I thought it was very interesting how he really noticed the 3, whereas I did not, and then I came to a different conclusion from him. And also, on this hand, if North had one less heart and South had another heart, then it would have been so crucial to play the 10 to give Declarer a reason to go wrong. Because now if North plays a 10, then there's so much more reason to rough the club. And the contract would have gone down. So yeah, I thought this hand was so interesting. Once again, I've been alerted to the fact that I'm really just not looking at opponents' pips enough from their point of view. Yeah, so that's just something to work on. Hope you enjoyed it and see you next time. Bye! Honestly, I was gonna just leave the video as that. In a previous video, I had already done this comparison between like my quick math and the actual numbers. And my conclusion back then was that it's about there, like it's very comparable, like maybe off by a bit, but like you can't possibly like calculate all these numbers at the table. Like these numbers are big, like 5 choose 1 is easy, but then 5 choose 1 times 8 choose 6 plus 5 choose 1 times 8 choose 4, like no thank you, like no. Unless it's like really few cases, then maybe you might want to do it. But honestly, from everything I've calculated so far, like the gist of it is about there. It seems to work. Yeah, but you know, just in case anyone wanted it, then here's the full calculation. So at the top, we have the facts of the hand. So basically, North has 5 diamonds and 2 hearts, South has 3 diamonds and 2 hearts. So North has 6 spots left, South has 8 spots left. What are the cards remaining? 1 heart, 6 clubs, 7 spades. Okay, so how do I calculate like how possible each hand is? So now let's think of it from South's point of view. South already has 5 cards. Now you give them the jack of clubs and another club. So that would be, so how many ways are there to get the other club? That would be 5 choose 1, because there's 5 other clubs left apart from the jack, right? So 5 choose 1 is 5. So that's the number of ways you can have the club suit. How many ways are there to have everything else? Well, there's 1 heart and 7 spades left, that's 8 in total. And then now South has 3 dimes, 2 hearts, and 2 clubs, right? That is 7. So South still needs 6 more cards. So when you give South 6 of those 8 remaining cards, and how many ways are there to do it? That's 8 through 6, which is 28. And then you multiply 5 by 28 to get 140. So there's 140 possibilities in the whole wide world where South can have Jack, double turn club. Okay, now we do the same exercise for North. So North has 7 cards already, 6 spots left. And 2 of them are going to be clubs, right? And same thing, 5 choose 1, if one of them has to be the Jack. And after you give North the 2 clubs, now North has room for 4 more cards. So, and there's 8 cards remaining. So 8 choose 4 gives you 70. And in total you have 350. Now for the 3-3 club break, we don't double count this because if you give North 3 cards, then South has the remainder 3 cards. And for the rest of the cards, if you give North 3, then South has the remaining 5. So you don't double count this. So you just get a 6 choose 3 times 8 choose 3, which gives you 1120. And if you add it up, there's 1610 out of the total, which is 14 choose 6, which is 3003, which is about like more than 50%. So this is actually more than my estimate. My estimate was 30 out of 64, but we all know like that like 3-3 breaks and all that are more common than like 5-1 breaks and all that. So yeah, that's where this discrepancy is coming from. We were underestimating a bit in my quick math. But in relation to the rough club line, it's about there, okay? And I'll get to that in a bit. So we do the same thing for Jack double turn club itself, and then the 3-3 club break. But now we have to minus off when South has a heart and North has the ace of spades, right? We could also do like 3-3 club break and South has the, and North has a heart or whatever, but it's easier to just, because there's only one case where it goes down, so you just take every 3-3 club break and you minus off the ones that go down. So that's how I got the minus 300 here. So this 3-3 club break is the same as above, just that here, instead of 8 choose 3, if you look at it from North's point of view, North has 5 times 2 hearts, 3 clubs. That is 10 tricks, so there's 3 remaining, of which one of them is the ace of spades, so there's only 2 left. And since South has been allocated the heart, there's 1 heart and 7 spades left, right? South has been allocated 1 heart, and North has been allocated 1 spade, so there's only 6 remaining. So it's 6 choose 2, which is 15. That's how I got this 300, minus 300, because these are the downing cases. Now we do the same. I'll just do this one for example. So North has 2 clubs without the Jack. So you give South the Jack, right? And then there's 5 clubs remaining, of which you choose 2. So it's 5 choose 2, which is 10. And then North has a heart. So there's 7 spades left. North has a heart, and then North needs 3 more spades, right? So that is 7 through 3, which is 350. And then here, the interesting thing is I underestimated this method because in my quick math, I eliminated the case where like, so if North has 2 clubs without the Jack and South has the heart, then I counted it as downing already. So actually, when I took this total of this 3-3 club break plus this North has 2 clubs and North has a heart, South has 2 clubs and South has a heart, and then I minus 25% from there because I thought that this additional condition of South having the heart and North having the ace of spades is about 25% chance. I actually deducted more than I should have because actually this case doesn't exist. North can't have the heart and while South has a heart at the same time. So actually that was a careless overestimate. So that was a careless underestimate. Now for the last case, yeah, it's just the same concept. South has 2 clubs, so 5 choose 2. South has a heart, so South has 8 spots left, minus 2 clubs, there's 6 left, and 1 heart. And then the heart and the spade has been allocated, so there's only 6 cards left, so it's 6 choose 5, which is 6, which is 60 downing cases. So if you add it all up, you get 1810. Yeah, which is more than the 1610. And I think it's more than what I previously estimated. So if you do this, previously I estimated like 32 out of 32.5 over 30, right? Which we get 1.088. So it's like 8% better, right? Relatively, versus this. And I think it can be explained by this 25%. Basically, for this, right, there's 10 cases, but then I divided by 2. Cause like the heart, I gave it 50%. I mean, it's not really 50%, but it's about there, okay? I was doing quick math. I wanted to show you what my correct quick math number should have been. So of these 5 cases, right? Cause I have this 10 cause half the times the hearts with north only. Okay, so if I drop off 25% from this, then that's 1.25, right? So if instead of 32.5, I get 33.75, because that's the, sorry, 33.75. That's the amount I docked off, divide by 30, right? Then actually this the is like, don't you think this is very comparable to the actual number? Okay, so I mean, I'm I'm saying that in the end it's about the same, right? But there are differences in between. And it depends on what kind of differences you're looking at. So here, I mean, obviously this is very different from the 3. So I mean, obviously it's not very accurate, because like you see, these were both 5 cases, but it's 2.5 times more, right? That can't be right. So because North has more cards already, then North is more likely to be shorter in clubs than South, right? So this obviously gonna be less than this. And I mean, this is definitely not like 1/4 of this, and this is more than 1/4 of this. But I think as long as, like, you know, you're comparing lines, and then it's some kind of symmetrical, because this these two appear here, and then this still appears here, like it's not that bad. And then the other thing is, here when you're looking at like South having the heart, yes, South is more likely to hold the heart, but also North is less likely to hold the Ace of Spades. So as long as like there's some kind of symmetry, like you're pitting 2 similar conditions together, and then like for example, like when a hand has so many more known cards, as long as they're on opposite sides, it kind of cancels out in the end. And if we want to do some more quick math, then um so I I estimated that, you know, South having the heart and North having the Ace of Spades is about 25%. In reality, South has the heart 8 out of 14 of the time. And then after that heart is allocated, North has the Ace of Spades 6 out of 13 of the time. And then it's the same if you allocate the Ace of Spades first, it's 6 out of 14 times 8 out of 13. So if you do 6 out of 14, 6 out of 14 divided by times 8 out of 13, then you get like 26%, right? It's almost 25%. I mean, there's teeny bit of difference, but it's kind of about there. So yeah, I think so far in my experience, like the numbers, like even though like the intermediate steps, they are kind of different, like in the end, it's very, very, very similar and very close. And come on, like nobody is going to calculate 5 choose 1 times 8 choose 6, okay? Like just 5 choose 1, 5 choose 1, 6 choose 3. That's very manageable. Yeah, we're not going to deal with these numbers here. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this, and see you next time. Bye!